let's jump right into this explainer. Right now, as you go about your day, you are literally walking through the world as the most dangerous predator that has ever existed. But why? I mean, it's definitely not because of your teeth. You barely have any. And it's for sure not your claws, because, well, you don't have those either. Actually, if we look at purely physical stats, you are incredibly weak, slow, and, let's face it, pretty soft. So how exactly did the absolute weakest hunter on the savannah become the most feared organism in history? It's a crazy evolutionary detective story, and we're going to figure out how a species with zero built-in natural weapons somehow ended up completely taking over the entire planet. Because this is the central paradox, right? On one hand, your physical reality is just slow, weak, no claws, no fangs. But on the other hand, your global status is undisputed. Every other species on Earth is absolutely terrified of you, even though next to a lion or a grizzly bear, we are, physically speaking, almost pathetic. Now, this global fear, it is not ancient history. Go back 2 million years, and you weren't the hunter. You were very much the prey. But somewhere along the line, a massive shift happened. A slow buildup of moments that dragged us from the absolute bottom of the food chain right to the undisputed top. And here is the kicker. Our eventual dominance didn't happen because we suddenly got beefier or faster than the things hunting us. The real answer to our dominance is way stranger, and honestly, a whole lot more terrifying once you wrap your head around it. Section 1. Sparking the shift, from scavenger to cook. To really grasp this massive rise, we have to look at our incredibly humble beginnings and our very first technological leap. Paleoanthropologist Robert Blumenschein found fossil evidence proving just how, well, unimpressive we used to be. Early hominins were basically just bottom-feeding scavengers. Picture this. Your direct ancestors are literally hiding in the bushes at the edge of a kill site, watching real predators like lions eat. They'd wait their turn, creep in, grab some abandoned bones, and crack them open for marrow. We were literally competing with vultures for table scraps. So how on earth did we escape that nightmare? Anthropologist Richard Wrangham points to one thing: the controlled use of fire. Cooking food was an absolute game changer. It acted as what he calls external digestion, basically pre-digesting calories outside the body. This meant we didn't need massive guts to process raw food anymore, so our guts shrank, and more importantly, our brains grew. Fire changed everything. Plus, it kept those real predators away with just a flickering light. Think about it. A hyena cannot guard a flame. It was an advantage literally no other animal could match. Section 2. The relentless chase, sweating our way to the top. But fire was really just the warm-up act. The next wild leap involves a physiological superpower. 2 million. That is the staggering number of sweat glands covering your body right now. Evolutionary biologist Daniel Lieberman spent decades on this, and it turns out this is a capability no other large land mammal possesses in quite the same way: the ability to experience incredible endurance through continuous heat release. This little biological quirk is absolutely crucial. See, a lion or a cheetah can sprint explosively, but they cool down by panting. And you can't pant when you're breathing incredibly hard, which means they physically have to stop and rest. We, on the other hand, cool down continuously by sweating. So while your ancestors definitely couldn't beat an antelope in a quick sprint, they could outlast almost anything on Earth over a long distance. This led to a deeply unsettling but highly effective strategy called persistence hunting, which anthropologist Louis Liebenberg documented in the Kalahari. It is a brutal 4-step process. Step 1, you track an animal in the blistering afternoon heat. Step 2, you simply never stop. You just follow its prints and deny the animal any chance to rest. Step 3, the animal eventually overheats and just physically collapses from pure exhaustion. And step 4, you just walk right up to a creature that could have easily smoked you in a foot race, and you claim the kill. We didn't win by being fast. We won because we were totally relentless.
Section 3. The ultimate weapon. Combining intelligence.
Now, tracking an animal for 6 straight hours requires way more than just sweaty endurance. It requires deep prediction, cognition, and the ability to imagine where an animal is going to go long before it gets there. Archaeologist Stephen Mithen calls this cognitive fluidity. He argues the real weapon of human dominance wasn't endurance, and it wasn't fire alone. It was the brain's unique ability to crosswire different distinct skills. Other animals are smart, sure, but usually in narrow lanes. A wolf gets pack dynamics, a crow uses tools. But early humans, we started integrating all these forms of intelligence into one fluid system. When you take social reasoning, add technical reasoning, and combine it with natural history knowledge, you get something totally new. This created a lethal capability no other species had ever achieved: unparalleled cooperation. Social intelligence plus technical intelligence meant we could plan and execute incredibly complex strategies together. Because think about it, a single human with a stick? Not scary at all. But 30 humans coordinating a multi-point ambush? That is utterly terrifying. And it led directly to the most dramatic climax in the history of life on Earth. Section 4. The Biological Blitzkrieg. Eradicating Giants.
This newly formed, super-coordinated strategy led to what biologist Paul Martin calls a biological blitzkrieg. It's a chilling phrase, but it perfectly captures the devastating planetary impact of our hunting strategies, moving across continents and leaving a massive trail of vanished giants in our wake. We weren't uniquely cruel, we were just uniquely strategic and coordinated.
The megafauna overkill hypothesis, championed by paleontologist Adrian Lister, reveals a really disturbing global correlation. Check this out. In Australia, shortly after humans arrive, car-sized lizards and giant kangaroos disappear entirely. In the Americas, mammoths and saber-toothed cats vanish within a few thousand years of our arrival. New Zealand and Madagascar, massive flightless birds are gone shortly after human feet touch the dirt. The pattern across totally independent continents is crystal clear. Humans arrive, and the giants disappear.
We defeated these massive giants, animals that could literally crush our skulls with a single foot. And we didn't do it with brute strength. We did it using coordinated ambushes and intricate traps. We strategically used fire to drive panicked herds off cliffs. We used complex gestures and language to perfectly time our attacks. And we used weapons designed and refined over multiple generations. We became the apex predator because we were the only species capable of building a complex plan in one mind, sharing it across dozens of others, and executing the whole shebang with total coordination. Section 5. The same ancient software. Today's world. Here's the fascinating part. This devastating capability, this idea of mind multiplied by numbers, it didn't just disappear when the mammoths died out. It just changed targets. The exact same cognitive fluidity that allowed a hunting party to bring down a mastodon is what now builds sprawling cities, writes complex international laws, manages global supply chains, and launches rockets into space. Literally, every single time you collaborate on a project at work, or a group of strangers organizes toward a shared goal, you are running the exact same ancient software that once drove a giant ground sloth to extinction. You carry this powerful inheritance with you every single day. So, what does this all mean? Next time you watch a nature doc and feel physically small compared to a tiger or a bear, remember the wild truth of your evolutionary history. You didn't inherit the Earth because you were strong. You inherited it because, somewhere in the deep past, your ancestors discovered the one weapon absolutely nothing else could ever match: each other. Which leaves us with one final fascinating question to cap off this explainer. What will you build with the ultimate weapon today?